I wanted to stop in and let people know that animal control is going to be hazing geese by the airport starting this week. This is something that will likely continue throughout the winter and into the spring. The geese are attracted to Elmwood Golf Course. It has a lot of green grass and it's near the historic Big Sioux River drainage, and so there's usually some open water there. And having the green grass next to the open water and near the edge of town where they can go out and feed in the agricultural fields makes it a super spot for them. And so they congregate near the airport, which can be a very dangerous situation for airplanes flying in and out, taking off along the runways right by Elmwood. So in the winter, as geese start to migrate into the city, the Animal Control Division works with the game fish and parks, works with the golf course personnel to start hazing the geese from those areas. Hazing basically means we are scaring them off. We are not shooting them or killing them, but we're just trying to get them to move along and to use some other area. So Animal Control is going to start hazing this week, which means we're going to put some propane cannons out on Elmwood Golf Course, and there is also a pond near the fairgrounds along Madison that holds geese in the winter. And so we will also be working to scare the geese out of that pond as well. What you might notice if you're in that area are the loud booms from the propane cannon. The propane cannons are set on a timer, so we have them going from dawn to dusk and then turning off at night. And Animal Control will be monitoring them. They'll go off every few minutes throughout the day, set on different timers so that the geese don't get used to when they're going off. So it'll make a loud boom, but we're just advising the public not to be concerned if they do hear those booms in that area. When we work to remove the geese from the pond at Concrete Materials or by the fairgrounds there, what people may hear are more like fireworks and the booms or shotguns going off. We are not shooting regular shotgun shells, but they're called cracker shells, and they make more of a fireworks sound. And there's also a screamer pistol that we use, and that's more, it sounds like a bottle rocket going off. So we fire those into the pit and try to get the geese to move along. We don't normally have to do that for very long. Our goal there is just to get the pond to freeze over, and it can't freeze over if the geese are in it, keeping the water open. So we try to get them to move along, then we'll put the propane cannon out, and the propane cannon will work throughout the day to keep the geese out of there. In the summer, we typically have about 1,000 geese in the city of Sioux Falls, but in the winter, we start getting a big influx of geese as the ponds start to freeze up in the rural areas. There's always some open water. The Big Sioux River in Sioux Falls is generally open throughout the winter, and that attracts the geese. We'll get geese from South Dakota, but also the surrounding states as well. In the winter, we'll see populations of 6,000 to 8,000 geese in the city of Sioux Falls. So it becomes a big concern for us when they do congregate near the airport.
Have there been any incidents at the airport yet this year?
I have not heard of any incidents at the airport yet this year.
Did you say this is a new program?
We started the hazing last year,
Okay.
Last winter. We've been trying to remove them from that pond for the last couple of years, and that works pretty well because the pond is located just south of the airport, and it does hold the geese, and it can be a concern for flights taking off and landing.
Was the method pretty successful last year when you first tried it?
It was.
I'll ask the citizen question, is this coming at a great, expense to citizens out there, or?
No, this is a relatively inexpensive method. The cannons are supplied by the Game Fish and Parks, something that they use for their other depredation programs to scare wildlife off of areas they're not supposed to be. So we borrow the cannons, and we just have to supply the propane to run the cannons or the staffing to scare the geese off. So pretty inexpensive.
Just curious, last year when you guys did it, were there many reports of shots or anything in those areas from people who didn't notice it?
Not,
Didn't realize it was happening?
not really. No, there was a couple, but not as many as we thought might come in.
And you stressed a couple times that, you know, this is a safe way to, you're not harming any geese and all that. And you could have gone another route. I don't know if you have the rights to poison or get rid of the geese, but you're trying this way to keep the geese and the people happy, right? This is a good method to not harm any wildlife.
That's correct. We do have a permit from the Fish and Wildlife Service to actually kill some geese if they become a problem. But our choice is always the non-lethal way first, trying to get them to just move along, choose a different area. And using the propane cannons it's safe, it's ecologically friendly, and it's something that has worked for us in the past.
So just out of curiosity, have you guys ever had to euthanize, I guess that would be the best way to say it, geese in the past?
We have had to euthanize some geese in the past. Generally in the winter we try not to do that though. It's just that the flocks are so large that removing the 300 we have on our permit really wouldn't, I don't think, make much of a difference.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so.
Last year, when you said these methods were successful, were you able to get them to scatter outside of city limits? Like, were you able to scatter them that far?
Right. So the problem, like I said, is that the Big Sioux is always open, especially down by Smithfield Foods, by the spillway there. So the geese will move down in that area. They'll move out to Arrowhead, which is on the east side of Sioux Falls. But generally they'll move into the drainages along 26th Street, which in I-29. You'll see them congregate in those drainages as well. Our main effort is to get them away from the airport, so the airplanes can safely come in and then depart. And so we try to push them away from the airport, but not generally out of the city. Then we'll just end up chasing them around all day.